I could go on, and I will, but this will be the last session of this course. I'm not going anywhere. You can always find way too much of me here on YouTube or just by Googling my name, and you can get in touch either as a Facebook friend or for strategic consulting to tailor your response to the herobots in your life. We'd assess your particulars, consider ways that humbling, escaping, and confronting them could help or hurt, and then come up with ways to get your mind back by backing your herobots off. My focus here has been on confronting herobots with a sharp-tongued irony, but that's not always the right strategy. It's just the one we've ignored most with the Trumpists. It needs to be in our repertoire for dealing with herobots. Even if Maga's fad is finally fading, there will always be more herobots to deal with. As Bertolt Brecht put it, don't yet rejoice in his defeat, you men. Although the world stood up and stopped the bastard, the bitch that bore him is in heat again. I hope psychoproctology intrigues you. I hope you stay curious about it, even if the world has stood up and stopped Trump or some other bastard in your life. A lot of people ignore the topic when good riddance this or that bastard is defeated. Don't do that. If you've dealt with an asshole, we need you. We need your accumulated antibodies, your skills, and your curiosity about what makes such people tick like time bombs. Psychoproctology addresses humanity's biggest problem. Whatever you think is humanity's most urgent threat, climate for me, we can't make progress on it as long as herobots remain in power. Herobots dressed up in whatever lifestyle have been the problem all along, a problem likely to only get worse as reality gets more complicated. When reality gets rough, people escape into playing eternal hero, thereby neglecting reality, which gets worse, driving people still further into pretending they're heroes. The most probable cause of human extinction is a dissociation death spiral, the kind of escapist herobotic brain fart that Maga has been. We tend to focus on the evil leaders of such movements, the Trumps, Stalins, Hitlers, Maos, and other tyrants who brainwash passive victims. Or more locally, our evil, narcissistic ex who gaslighted us. Vilifying the leaders and gaslighters is a comforting way to cope, but not as realistic as focusing on what made us susceptible to them, the human appetite for what I'll call brain-purging, the appetite for absolution, to feel pure, purged of self-doubt, to wash anxiety away in an ecstatic flood of herobotic self-affirmation. I know the feeling. For 7 years, I lived on the world's largest and most successful hippie commune. 1,500 members. It was unusual as communities go. We were hardworking and practical, in many ways downright prudish. No sex unless you were engaged to be married. No alcohol. But damn, were we proud of ourselves. We were out to save the world. We weren't exactly a cult. You could leave any time, and we were pretty good at making fun of ourselves. Our leaders stepped down eventually with uncommon grace. Still, I was definitely cultish about it. I was there for the brain purge. I felt perma-affirmed, eternally heroic, purged of all anxiety, doubt, and self-doubt. I felt like I'd found the express train to glory and could just ride that groove all the way to the end of my days, happily ever after. I became herobotic about it. Where there's demand for absolution, there will always be some con artist willing to supply it. You can't eliminate the Trumps peddling fake absolution. The best you can do is reduce your demand for it. There will always be brainwashers. We need to focus on resisting the temptation to brain purge. Psychoproctologists, like I hope you are now, study the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of assholery. I'll conclude this course with a focus on prevention, how to resist the seductive allure of brain-purging herobotics, how to keep yourself and others from becoming such easy marks for con artists, herobots, and cults. My answer is different from the usual recommendation that one cultivate humble moral rectitude. Rather, I'll encourage an appreciation for what you're probably already doing without noticing how healthy it is for you and society. Exercising your egotistical urges safely. I've called it safe escapism, optimal illusion, strategic gullibility. Here, I'll call it off-jerking, venting your jerky egotistical impulses without turning the public square into your herobotic vanity project. A quick review of your real-world bioanthropological context. I mean, setting aside all the abstract impressions, romantic humanistic poetry, and moral preferences, what are we really? The living world is populated with predators and parasites, but being an absolute jerk is an exclusively human thing, a product of how having language makes us a radically different kind of critter, capable of imagining anything, real or unreal, past, present, or future, comforting or terrifying, reassuring or scary. We're all trudging through a sandstorm of mojo-eroding possibilities. With language, we're first and foremost FOMO Sapiens. We're rubberneckers haunted by fear of missing out. What do you get when you cross language-enabled thoughts with visceral, convincing emotions? You get a strong preference for comforting, affirming thoughts. The more the better, like we'll take all we can get, because you never know how much reassurance you'll need, so you stock up. Extra strength reassurance, if possible, a sense of superiority. In short, humans can imagine the ideal, see where we fall short, and self-idealize as heroes to compensate. Now, you may think, sure, other people crave being the hero, Trumpists, trolls, herobots, and egomaniacs, but really, speak for yourself, Sherman. I'm not like that. Okay, I'll speak for myself. I'll give voice to what I find lurking awkwardly in my subconscious. See if it feels at all familiar. Getting affirmation and reassurance has been a big unconscious driver all my life. I've always gravitated towards evidence that I'm okay, actually more than okay, great, superior. Even now with my life running pretty smoothly, there's still a risk of getting triggered into those old nagging thoughts. Am I okay? I'm okay. Uh-oh, I'm not okay. Wait, I'm great. I'm the shit. Oh no, I'm not. I'm a shit. Am I okay? Like I meet new people and it all floods back in. They're better than me at this or that, smarter, more talented, successful, out of my league. My mind races to find something I've got that they don't. It's like I never fully escape that nagging, am I okay voice? To feel okay, I carry around some, at least I'm this, or at least I'm not that, or at least I have this, or at least I don't have that. Lots in my life is reassuring enough. My status, partner, job, money, possessions, looks, health. But I'm not really excited about what I've got. I take all that stuff for granted. I only get excited by upgrades, new reassurance, and affirmation. Still, when I get new affirmation, I act like I wasn't hungry for it. I stay cool about it, quick to take it for granted. I hate to admit it, but it's because I need to not look and feel needy. It's not reassuring to admit that I need reassurance. So I shop for reassurance on the black market. I'll take all I can get, but under the table, I sneak it. And when I get the affirmation I crave, I act like yawn. I don't care about it. It's funny, one way I sneak affirmation is to snark about other people's neediness, as if their egotism is beneath me. It's kind of pitiful, right? I talk about how my partner and I have a great relationship, but I don't admit, not even to myself, how much I've come to depend on her affirming me. Now, if any of the affirmation I'm getting suddenly vanished, I'd have trouble coping. Double trouble because I'd have lost the affirmation which I needed, but denied that I needed. I'd suddenly be confronted by proof that I needed it. It's funny, the more affirmation I get, the less I notice how much I need it. And when it dries up, suddenly I'm exposed to how needy I really am. Like you don't miss your water till the well runs dry. It's all a little exhausting. I wish I could stop being needy. Like if I were perma-firm, no longer threatened by uncomfortable thoughts, or at least had a way to deflect them all. I'd be safe and free, like an eternal hero. I'd like at least a margin of error, like affirmation in the bank. Not just reassured as okay, but frankly, a way to feel superior, exceptional, a way to feel above average, permanently purged of my neediness. That'd be nice. I hear about ways to live stress-free, rich, famous, powerful, or the opposite, egoless, mindful, enlightened, heroically selfless, a leader of some great selfless movement. When I get stressed, I think maybe I should go for one of those. Even if it makes you uncomfortable, consider paying more attention to the supply of and demand for affirmation and how it plays out for you and for us all. Call it egonomics, how people keep their egos buoyant. In economics, they say if you want to understand and predict people's behavior, follow the money. I'm expanding that. If you want to understand and predict people's behavior, follow the affirmation. Trumpists didn't suddenly get interested in matters of public policy. They discovered a new, cheap way to feel perma-affirmed. Ways to feel affirmed are easy enough to come by. We can earn them, but given our imaginations, we can also pretend we've earned them. When we've earned them, we're tempted to round up, take a little credit for what we hope or imagined earning. But we don't have to earn affirmation at all. There's also what I'll call egotainment, entertainment that whatever else it does, it reassures and affirms us. There are so many safe and easy forms of egotainment these days. Social media, mutual affirmation societies, parties, concerts, sports events, political rallies, video games, shopping, dolling ourselves up, dating, milder drugs like coffee, Red Bull, pot, and beer, and yes, masturbating, to name just a few. There are old traditional and revered forms too, church and spirituality. Sure, you get some wisdom and moral teachings from them, but you can get those from lots of sources. And anyway, whatever else they're good for, they're definitely egotainment. A little mojo pit stop affirmation that God cares about you or that you're among the elect who know what's right and righteous. They get plenty snarky too, sadonarcissistic digs at other faiths and the faithless. They get jealous of other forms of egotainment, stealing their thunder too. I mean to demote such high horse forms of egotainment to an elevated status that I hold for them all. Some of my personal favorites are watching TV and identifying with the heroes and anti-heroes, playing and singing music as if I'm a superstar, which I'm not, and jerking off, though by my age it's more pornostalgia, nostalgia for when I was young and frisky. TMI? TMI are my middle initials. When I watch TV and I identify with a good guy, hero, or badass anti-hero, I get a little reassurance and confidence boost. I love that feeling. When I was a kid, I played hero a lot. I still do, apparently. If anything, I've gotten better at hiding it. The humble brag. And I'm calling it off-jerking, like off-gassing, venting our compulsion to be a jerk by pretending we're heroic. Try this for an innocent enough version of off-jerking, though on the edge of herobotic trouble. There's a big, sweet old galoot on the dance floor, clearly having a blast, eyes closed, a little drunk, stoned, or otherwise high on not just life, but his life. Singing along with the lyrics, not that he knows them, he's bellowing along, makes him feel like a badass, a legend in his own mind. He's strutting more riz than he is. He's not dancing like no one's watching. Eyes closed, he's dancing like everyone's mesmerized and thinks he's hot. You're watching from a safe distance. Amused, but yeah, you can relate. You've done that. Maybe not on the dance floor, but you know the feeling. The crowd grows, the dance floor fills. Lost in himself, the galoot is taking up more than his fair share of it. But it's okay, folks make room. If they didn't, they'd end up bruised by all his erratic flailing. And anyway, that's what we do for each other. We cut each other some slack to play hero, because we all need it. The night passes safely. The next day, a friend tells him he was indulgent. He's ashamed, but it was so much fun. He really got his yayas out. Or the night ends badly. Someone bumps him by mistake, and shocked out of his reverie, he goes into a rage like, how dare you attack a superstar like me? And starts a fight, never apologizes. Apparently, he let his off-jerking go to his head. I've been to a Trump rally. I've been to a death metal concert. They were very similar. Egotainment, off-jerking, folks high and cosplayed up, chanting lyrics they hadn't thought about, but that made them feel like badasses. There was one big difference. After the concert, people found their cars and got back to reality. After the Trump rally, people acted like they discovered something realer than reality. Playing hero is human. We just have to learn to do it safely. As the Cat in the Hat said, it's fun to have fun, but you gotta know how. As Stevie Wonder said, everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. As your ma said, careful or someone will get hurt. As I said, self-love is important, but get a room, don't let it go to your head, and for fuck's sake, zip up after. Take your flights of heroic fancy, but always with a return ticket to reality secure in your heart pocket. It's not how far out you go, but whether you remember to come back. So I'll leave off here with one last ironic, compassionate tease to try on trolls and Trumpists, even as perhaps, if we're lucky, it's a kick in the pants as they begin to beat their retreat from their obnoxious chest beating in the public square. No, you're doing it wrong. At your age, you still don't know how to jerk off? Wow, here, let me help. No, I'm not going to help jerk you off, but I'll explain how it's done. I'm kind of an expert. Buddy, I'm like you. I get beaten down by life, which is why I beat off to fantasies that I'm superior. We all do, but you can't escape full-time. We need you here, all hands on deck. You're making a fool of yourself. We all see you. We're laughing at you, Don wannabes jerking off nonstop in public like this. Self-love is important, but get a room, don't let it go to your head, and for fuck's sake, zip up after. Thanks for watching. Stay in touch.